Everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Kay back at it with another Cooking with Kay. Today I got a really good recipe for you that everybody can make. It's a chocolate cake. Not only is it a chocolate cake, it's going to be a vanilla cake. And not only is it going to be a vanilla cake, it's going to be a butter cream cake too. All three icings on one cake. And it's going to be a really simple way to do it. So let's get started. All right. So basically, everybody can make this cake. You just go to your neighborhood grocery store and pick up a box of cake mix. Of course, you're going to need a little icing to go on it. I always put my dates on it so I know how soon I need to use it. And once you get that part down, the next thing you're going to need is your mixing bowl. Turn my camera around a little. I want to make sure that you can see everything. Okay. So, the first thing you're going to need 3 eggs. Put that in there. You're going to need a half a cup of vegetable oil. Me personally, I like corn oil because of the flavor. You're going to need 1 cup of water. This is something that I'm adding. I like just a little butter in it. So I'm going to add just a little butter. And then I'm going to mix it up. Just like that. Can you see that? Mix it up just like that. Okay? Next, you're going to need the cake mix. So you just put your cake mix in and mix it up. Just like that. So you just mix it. And normally, you can mix it for about a minute and a half. And if you got a blender works even better. So then you just mix it up like this. Get everything mixed up good. And also it's a good workout too. Give you a chance to get the hands moving, get the arms moving, getting everything moving. I used to make cakes all the time when I was younger. My favorite was the German chocolate cake. I made German chocolate vanilla, caramel cakes, and my family and friends loved it. So I just thought that what I want to do is really just show everybody that it's really not that hard to make a cake. So what you want to do, you want to take a little baking spray to spray the pan. This way, your tray with your cake pan, it'll be easy for the cake to come out. Because if you don't use a spray on it, the bottom of the cake will stick to the pan. So make sure you spray your pan good, okay? Which is what I did. And then all you do is add your cake mix, just like that, okay? Try to get it as even as possible. Just like that. Just like that. Now, normally what I'll do is when I'm cooking my cake, I put the oven on 350. I put it on 350 and I let the cake cook for 22 minutes. You may want to use a timer because one thing about a cake, you don't want your cake coming out uh, cooked too much. You don't want to overcook your cake. So set the oven to 22 minutes. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna take a toothpick and just go around the cake in the oven and make sure that it's cooked all the way. Now, one thing about, try this. Delicious. Now, you take your cake mix and then you put it in the oven. So I'm gonna turn that around like that. Okay? And then you just put your cake mix in like that. Just like that. And then you give it 22 minutes. Okay, let's take a look and see how the cakes are doing. As you can see, it's starting to, mix is starting to rise in it. And one of the things, it's not time yet. You'll know when the cake is ready. But what you do, you take a toothpick, just like this, and then you stick it in it. As you can see the icing on the toothpick. That means that the cake isn't ready. But if this cake was ready, you wouldn't get any any cake mix on the toothpicks. And that lets you know that the cake is ready. But we're not there yet. Okay, only in television. So basically, you would take a toothpick and you would push it to the cake. And if the cake mix comes on the toothpick, it's not ready. Now, one of the things you want to do, once your cake comes out of the oven, let it sit out on the stove or countertop, as long as it doesn't damage the countertop, for about 30 minutes. Then you take this cake with the tray, put it in the freezer. Leave it in the freezer for a couple of hours. This way, you got time to work on your cake. Because if you take this cake right out of the stove and try to put icing on it, the cake is going to fall apart. I learned that in the hotel business. Okay? So then the next thing you do, once you take it out of the freezer, just gently pull it away from the baking pan. Just like that. Okay? Then you sit that like that. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that beautiful? Okay? Now, what I want to do is, I'm going to use some vanilla icing, buttercream icing, and chocolate icing. So, first things first, I'm going to take the buttercream because I want the inside of the cake to have a buttercream icing. Just like that. See that? Look how beautiful that is. I love making cakes. Cakes, they're fun to make and they're delicious. Now, one thing about a cake, as long as you keep it in the freezer. So let's say, you slice your cake once you get it to that point. You can slice it up and then just put it back in the freezer. Long as you keep it in the freezer, your cake will last forever. And each time you take a slice out and sit it at room temperature, it's going to be as though you just made the cake. It's incredible how that works. Okay? Now, the next thing you're going to do, now that we got our center icing, you're going to take your second layer and put on it. Now, this is the fun part with this. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go half and half with my icing. I want my icing, it's going to be half and half. So let's put this guy out the way. So one side is going to be chocolate. Just like that. Just like that. Now, another thing you could do, you can kind of mix your icing up some like that. It'd be easier to work with. So, I'm going to put my chocolate on one side. Just like that. Just like that. And one can of icing, if you don't want to do it what I'm doing now, you can, one can will cover the whole cake, like that. Just like that. Look how beautiful that is. And then, just go around. It's like art, really. Can I make a cake from scratch? I'll be honest with you guys, no. But, if you guys and girls just want to make a cake, right? And, impress someone you love, this is the way to do it. Just like that. Can other people make better cakes than me? Absolutely. Absolutely. See? But when you make a cake, it's like art, really. It's like this is your art. It feels like I'm creating something when I do this. It's just amazing. It's like magical, right? Okay? Now, I don't know if I got it even or not. I'm gonna try to get the camera in a little bit more. Just like that. Okay? Now, I'm gonna take the vanilla and then I'm gonna put vanilla. Just like that. Just like that. In the hotel business, and even if you go to like Cheesecake Factory, if you'll notice, their cakes and pies are in a cooler. So what I'm telling you is, if you leave it on the countertop in a cake cover, it's not going to last that long. It's going to start getting a little stale. But as long as you leave it in the freezer, it's going to taste as though you just made it. That's amazing. And all you have to do is just do that. Right before you get ready to serve it, take your slices, cut once the cake gets hard, then you can cut it and cut it into slices. And then this way, now you're only taking out slices. You're not trying to cut a whole cake, that can be a little daunting. But if you just cut it right before you get ready to, serve it, it's easy just to take the slices and just sit that on the countertop. And this way, you don't have your whole cake out. And that's it. So, again, this is Kay showing you how to make a really easy cake. See if I can hold it up without dropping it on the floor. See that? Look how beautiful that is. And that's all it is. And here you have it. So again, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you. And I'll see you in my next K Cooking. Thank you. Have a great day.